It's Ash from SuperVideos back for another live stream Q&A video. This is going to be live stream number 97. So as always, this is going to be a live stream going into the next episode of This Time Fear the Walking Dead, episode 11. Last episode was actually a pretty good episode. I really enjoyed it. It was one of the rare occasions in Fear, at least, where a slow episode was actually good enough for me to actually enjoy it. But anyway, let's jump into the questions. I'm just going to move the camera a bit so I can see the questions here. The first question comes from Giuseppe De Rosa. They say, hey Ash. So it's not a question. Hey, how are you, Giuseppe? Animated Alex. I hope Morgan goes back to The Walking Dead. I kind of do as well, but in a sense, it defeats the purpose of Morgan joining Fear in the first place. So that's the only reason why, you know, I wouldn't go as far as saying I want him to go back right now, because I don't think his appearance in Fear is justified yet. At this point, I think the only thing for Morgan, or the only reason for bringing Morgan into Fear, was for ratings, which, if that's what they were going for, I guess it's okay, but, you know, it just, if you're thinking more, I guess, looking at the entire franchise as a whole, it's kind of a bad decision just to do it for that. Giuseppe De Rosa, they should put the song Hurt from Logan for Rick's death. Hurt. I think that was by Johnny Cash, wasn't it? Yeah, that's a good song for that. I mean, for the Rick one, for Rick's death, assuming it's going to be a death, I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of songs that they could use, but yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Giuseppe De Rosa, Andrew Lincoln asked for that also. Oh, did he? I didn't know that. Maybe that's his favorite song or something. Just gonna play around with the settings here because I do see that the stream is going slow again. So let me just make sure the options are right for the stream. Yeah, everything is good. Maybe I'll need to restart it, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'll restart it to see if it helps, because it's slow, I think, right now. Alright, we are back. I think that's better. Let's see. And you might have noticed I'm a bit sick, so that's why my voice is like that. But anyway, Animated Alex. The conflict between Rick and Maggie should be interesting as long as it doesn't become a civil war. I completely agree with you. I mean, not only is it cliche if they do like a civil war type of thing, but also it doesn't fit the characters. The characters are closer than that. It might have worked with two other characters. Let's say if it was, for example, I have a classic example. When Abraham was introduced, there was this tension between Abraham and Rick. Remember that? It would have definitely worked if they included some sort of Civil War story or type of story during that time. If they wanted to, that would have worked perfectly fine. Mainly because Abraham was not kind of moved into, or hadn't moved into the story that much, and his story wasn't developed, his character. So it was in character for him to do anything, because we weren't thinking about the comics, because it's just a character that's introduced. If they did that with Abraham later on, then it wouldn't have worked, because they have developed Abraham at that point. Same thing goes here, because they've developed both Maggie and Rick to a point that their connection is stronger than that. Even though they do disagree, their relationship and their bond is stronger than that. And I don't think, or at least for me, it doesn't work if you build a civil war between these two characters. It just doesn't work for me. So I completely agree with you. Giuseppe De Rosa, will you cry for Rick's death? LOL. Probably not, but I'll be extremely sad. Animated Alex, I hope Angela Kang brings some realism in this season. Yeah, same here. I mean, one of the biggest things that's kind of been lost throughout The Walking Dead, you know, from one season to the next, to what we have now, is the realism. I mean, now, that's what we're talking about all the time with the cars. How come they have still fuel? With, you know, the ammo, how much ammo do they still have? They're just wasting them. To other things that just takes away from the what do you say? What's the word? How real it is. The realism. That's the word I'm looking for. I think you just said that. The realism of it. And I feel like that's something they need to bring back. That was definitely something that was there in the first few seasons, but they've kind of been moving away from that, which I kind of don't want anymore. I wanted to go back to the roots of The Walking Dead, where it was raw, it was real, it felt real. Giuseppe De Rosa. Rick is my favorite character of all time out of all the movies and shows I've watched. Yeah, he's definitely up there for me as well. I mean, there's a couple more that might beat it or might beat Rick in this case, but just generally speaking, yeah, Rick all the way. Probably Rick. One thing I do want to say, I think I missed the last live stream last week. I was kind of busy with a few things, but that might happen from time to time. But I'll try not to miss any of the Q&As. But if I do, just make sure that, or not make sure, just know that I'll be back the next week probably. Giuseppe De Rosa, I've been watching The Walking Dead since a kid. Yeah, I've been watching it for a long time as well. So yeah, I feel what you're saying with Rick and, you know, the gap that's going to be there with with him going away and also, or dying. And also not just the gap in the show, but for fans of the show who've been invested into this show from the beginning, or from more or less the beginning with Rick. Like, Rick is our guy. Like, we are watching The Walking Dead mostly because we are invested into this character. So I do believe that if you take Rick away from that equation, there's going to be a big gap for fans in terms of how invested they are in the show. Giuseppe De Rosa, will this live stream be a regular live stream or a short live stream? It'll be a regular one. I'll try to go as long as I can. Probably not too long, maybe just around the 45-minute mark. I think that's the sweet spot. But yeah, no more than that, probably, for today. But it's not going to be shorter than that, probably. Animated Alex, I wonder what role the heli will have. The helicopter? Yeah, I think it's going to be something with Washington, D.C. That's the only way to explain it. It's something to do with Washington, D.C., with Jadis, something like that. I don't think it's a Cure storyline. Rick is the Cure, he's immune. I don't think it's that. I would hate that, so I don't think that's it. There's a couple things they could do, but I think the helicopter storyline is most likely connected to something with the military, something to do with not even military, but a very established community. Not too established, but established enough. That's coming from probably Washington, D.C., like I said. Giuseppe De Rosa, will we get, or we still got Daryl at least. If he dies, I might be done. We have a few characters. I mean, if Rick goes and Maggie goes, then my interest level will be or where's the camera here? Going down a little bit. But we still have, like you said, Daryl. That's questionable because I haven't been as interested as Daryl as I have been in the first few seasons. But Daryl is there. Also, we have some good new characters like or not new, but we have some other characters like Michonne, definitely one, but some new characters as well, like King Ezekiel, like Jerry, like who else? Even Negan, he's still there, and some other characters. So I think it's relatively good at this point, but I forgot Carol, obviously Carol. So I think it's safe at this point, but I don't think it's going to last long. If Rick goes away, it might take us like one season to be burned out by who we have at the moment. But I do think it's going to come. We will get burned out by the story they're giving us if it's stale, if it doesn't justify Rick's death to a point, and if it doesn't give some sort of big story to other characters and trying to build them up to someone like, or to a character that can carry the show a little bit. Giuseppe De Rosa, maybe. Oh, you just talked about the Daryl thing, the Daryl comments. Giuseppe De Rosa, if Carol is still alive, I'll still watch. We gotta have a season 1 character still alive. Definitely agree with you to a point. If they bring sorry about that. So if they bring more interesting characters, then I'm perfectly fine with them killing season 1 characters. As long as they bring interesting characters, they give them the right type of storyline, and they develop their characters. Giuseppe De Rosa, I trust Angela Kang will make Daryl talk more again and do more. Yeah, I do think that's what's coming, based on what we've seen in the trailer. Or even based on what we've seen in the trailer, we know something like that is happening. Daryl is getting more time to not only talk, but do more interesting stuff. Animated Alex, what if the wagon is connected to the heli? Could be. I haven't thought about that, but could be. I mean, the fact that it's a helicopter and it's a wagon, there's that disconnect, because why go with the helicopter? And let's say if the storyline is going with the helicopter, telling Rick that he wants this wagon, or something like that, and then that's what connects the two. That's kind of pointless. Why don't the people just go there themselves to get the wagon themselves? So I feel like it has to be more than just the helicopter or whoever is with the helicopters asking Rick and the others to get the wagon. I think it has to be more than just that. Giuseppe De Rosa, will Daryl become the leader of Alexandria? I don't think Alexandria will have a leader anymore. I think there'll be... So Daryl, Carol, and... so Daryl, not Carol. Carol is at the Kingdom. Daryl and Michonne will run things together, I think. Giuseppe De Rosa, Ash, there's not many Season 1 characters. Daryl, Carol, and a lot of people don't like to count Morgan, but I do. I count Morgan, Carol, and Daryl. Carol, or Morgan at this point, it's complicated. So let's not look at Morgan. But Carol and Daryl, definitely two strong Season 1 characters. Giuseppe De Rosa, you should do a top 10 favorite Walking Dead characters of all time. I've done that before, maybe even a year ago. I might do an updated one when I get a chance. Animated Alex, what if it's some kind of airport community? Could be. That's a reasonable assumption or prediction. Giuseppe De Rosa, well, Michonne died in Season 10. It's rumored her contract ends at Season 10. I hope not. I mean, Rick, Maggie, then Michonne. That's probably going to leave a bad taste in most fans' mouths. And no, I don't think a lot of fans are going to like that. So, I hope not. Animated Alex, where the hell he comes from. Yeah, I got that. Yeah, it could be. I mean, like I said, it's a pretty reasonable prediction. for that to be the case. Giuseppe De Rosa, can't wait for John Bernthal's return. I am as well, but I don't think it's as big as everyone's making it out to be. He's just going to be in a few flashbacks, probably. So, I don't think it's as big of a thing as everyone's making it out to be, honestly. Giuseppe De Rosa, please don't be a short one. This stream, yeah, it's not going to be a short stream. It's going to be 45 minutes. Even if there isn't that many questions, I'll stick around for 45 minutes. Oh, okay. I see. You mean Giuseppe De Rosa, no Shane's return. Hey, you're talking about Shane's return. I take that back. Yeah, I think it's going to be a short one. I definitely think it's going to be a short one. I hope it's not, and I do want to see John Berthel again on the Walking Dead universe, or Shane, but I think it's going to be a short one. Animated Alex, more zombies. There's definitely going to be more zombies, especially with the new story arc that's coming in for Season 9. For comic readers, you know which one I mean. There's going to be tons of zombies and zombies, if you know what I mean, in Season 9. Giuseppe De Rosa, do you think Angela Kang will make the zombies scary again? I think so. Probably way more than a specific someone, a president of sorts, is making America great again. So way more than that, probably. And you might not even, or your comment might not have even been referring to that phrase, make America great again, but I just, that's the first thing I noticed when I read your comment, so I just made a comment about that. Giuseppe De Rosa, I was okay when Carl died because we were still going to have Rick, but now I'm pissed. I wasn't okay with Rick or Carl's death even, so I don't feel the same way. I wasn't okay at that point, and I'm certainly not okay now, because I am slowly seeing the breakdown of The Walking Dead as we know it. At least this show. As far as this show is concerned. Giuseppe De Rosa, I thought Rick would still be alive. Yeah, I've been kind of trying to think that, but the more we go on, and with more stories that are coming out, it doesn't seem like that's the case. But I am still not a fan of them having Rick go away and come back. That's not what I mean. I mean, what I want, even if Rick is going to go, is to wrap up his story in a way where we know where he's going, we know what's happening to him, we know when he's going to come back, and it's not up in the air. That's what I want. Giuseppe De Rosa, I would have liked to see Carl become the leader. Yeah, same here. That's what we're beginning to see in the comics, right? Yeah, so yeah. The more I think about Rick and Carl not being in the show anymore, the more I get Or, yeah, I get concerned. What's going to happen with the story? Where are we going to go? Giuseppe De Rosa, where is everybody today? Or everyone today? I have no idea. I'm here. You're here. That's what matters. We usually have five, 6, or 4. Yeah, usually. Giuseppe De Rosa, if you could go back, would you make Daryl a comic book character? Daryl from the first few seasons, not the current Daryl we have now. And that's not me being a hater or not liking what the actor is doing. The actor is doing okay, or is doing great. But the thing is, the story that they've given him in the last 2 seasons has been stale. So stale that it's just not interesting. That's just the way it is. But yeah, the first few seasons, Daryl was the bomb. I would love to have a character in the comics, even now, that has some qualities like Daryl did in the first few seasons. Giuseppe De Rosa, Daryl is like Rick's sidekick. Yep, he is his right-hand man, as Negan said. Giuseppe De Rosa, did you like season 8? Not as much as I should have. I think it was overhyped. It didn't live up to expectations. I don't think so. I was expecting way more for season 8, which we didn't get. Giuseppe De Rosa, I loved it. Second half is a different story. Second half I did enjoy mostly. First half, big disappointed, at least for me. I think the first half of season 7 and the first half of season 8 both suffered from the same problem. They were both disappointing because they were slow, filled with bottle episodes, filled with storylines that didn't need to be there, storylines that were dragged way too much, and not having any conclusion. It was just building up, build up, and just way too much build up, I think. Giuseppe De Rosa, can you rank all the seasons? Season 6, for me, season 6 first, season 5, then season 1, season 4, season 2, season 3, season 8, then season 7, which one did I like better? Season 8, then season 7. That's my ranking. I'll say it again just in case you didn't catch that. So, first would be season 6, then season 5, then season 1, then season 4, season 2, season 3, then season 8, then season 7. Giuseppe De Rosa, Rick doesn't have a sidekick in the comics. At one point, he did have Abraham a little bit. Not really a sidekick, but kind of a more or less a right-hand man to Rick at some points in the story. But after that, yeah, we haven't seen any of that. Dwight is kind of beginning to be more or less Negan's, or not Negan's, Rick's sidekick. Not a big sidekick, just a small sidekick. Like, he's there, he helps out, and, you know, Rick could look up to Dwight a little bit for making certain decisions, or relying on him on certain stuff. But other than that, there's really nothing. Animated Alex, what if Negan killed Negan? Then we wouldn't have Negan. Giuseppe De Rosa, they better bring back Dwight. I love Dwight. I hope so. I mean, one of the big things Angela Kang can do as showrunner is to bring back Dwight in a way that makes sense, and build up on Daryl and Dwight's story to a point that they are rivals to a point. They do, or Daryl do or does hate Dwight's guts, but they can work together. That's one thing. The other thing is to bring back a Sherry into the story, because I do believe that part of the story is interesting with Dwight, Sherry, and the Saviors. Bring that back as well, or bring her back. And also, either bring back other characters that we don't see, or explain what happened to them. Someone like Heath, explain what happened to him. Even if you're not going to bring him back, explain. Because it's going to be something that's going to keep coming. It's just like the Morales thing, all over again. It's going to get to a point, if we do get like 12 seasons, people are going to be like, where is he? Where is he? Where is Heath? And they might be forced to bring Heath back in a way that makes absolute no sense. Just like they did with Morales. So, that's the other thing. Tell us what happened to Heath. Because people are going to keep asking. Giuseppe De Rosa, he became an interesting character? Yes, definitely. Especially after he started working with Rick and the others. Animated Alex, what if Rick killed Negan? If Rick killed Negan, then All Out War, or, yeah, it probably wouldn't happen. But if it was during the war, then the war would have ended way earlier, I think. So we are about 30 minutes in, so another 15 minutes probably for this live stream Q&A. That would probably be good enough. Just 15 more minutes. You guys might have already noticed, but I did create a new edit recently, a Rick tribute. I think it turned out pretty nice, pretty cool, and it definitely hypes you up for season 9. So if you get a chance, if you're interested, definitely check it out. And yeah, I think it's probably one of my best edits in a long time. So if you're interested, definitely check that out. Giuseppe De Rosa, what other actor would you play, or would you have play Rick? I can't see anyone else other than Andrew Lincoln playing Rick, so I would say no one. We're biased at this point because we've seen Rick develop or Andrew Lincoln develop this Rick character. So I can't see myself buying anyone else playing Rick at this point. Giuseppe De Rosa, if you had to start from season 1 again, oh yeah, that's part of your previous question. Giuseppe De Rosa, I gotta check it out. Yeah, definitely check out the edit. I think it turned out pretty well, but obviously I think so because I posted it, but you guys might have a different opinion. But let me know what you think once you watch it. Giuseppe De Rosa, imagine Tom Cruise as Rick. That would have been terrible. Giuseppe De Rosa, Andrew Lincoln's Rick is obviously the best. Obviously, yeah. Giuseppe De Rosa, which Rick is more savage, comic, or show? Depends. Depends which story we're looking at. There's points where comic Rick is absolutely savage, but there's also points where comic or TV show Rick is absolutely savage. That it basically tops what Rick did in the comics at that specific point. So it just depends. Rick in the comics, when he what did he do? He I can't think of anything right now, but for example, in the TV show, Rick biting Joe's neck, it kind of did work in the comics, but it didn't have the same impact. In the show, absolutely savage. Same goes with the show for Gareth. A red machete or a machete with a red handle, that's what I'm going to use to kill you. Absolute savage line. Now, I don't think he said that in the comics. So, obviously savage. I mean, yeah. So these two from the show are the ones that pop up immediately. But from the comics, I would have to think about it. But there's probably a lot. Giuseppe De Rosa, will they ever reboot The Walking Dead? Maybe. I mean, AMC owns The Walking Dead show, so they might reboot it. They might do a spin-off, so it's just AMC and the big showrunner, Scott Gimple. They can do all of that if they want to. Giuseppe De Rosa, well, which season had the best Rick? Best Rick. Season 4 was when season 4. What happened in season 5? Let me just backtrack here. What happened in season 5? Season 5 started with the big herd. Or no. That was season 6. Season 5. I can't even think anymore. Yeah, I think season 4. I'm drawing a blank on what actually happened, the storyline for season 5, but season 4 Rick is probably the most savage Rick we've seen. Giuseppe De Rosa, which season had the best Daryl? Season 1. Season 1. And season 2. Season 1 and 2. And 3. Let's just pick one. Yeah, season 1. Giuseppe De Rosa here doesn't really have any interesting characters anymore. John, Morgan, Who else? Charlie, beginning to. Who else? Nick was kind of interesting. Travis was kind of interesting. They killed them off. Madison, not really interesting, but could be at some points. Killed her off. So yeah, John and Morgan at this point. Giuseppe De Rosa, it was so stupid to kill off Madison. Absolutely. With Travis and Nick both dying, killing Madison is just a nail in the coffin, I think. Giuseppe De Rosa, which season had the best Carol and Maggie? Maggie, I would say season. Maggie, let me think. Season 6 Maggie. For Carol, probably whichever season it was where the Lizzie Mika situation happened and they were on their way to Terminus. I think it was season 4, right? No, season 5, I think. Season 5. When she came to the rescue at Terminus. Season 5, yeah, season 5. Wait, second half of season 4, first half of season 5 for Carol. Giuseppe De Rosa with Fear should just join The Walking Dead. That would defeat the point of having a spinoff, but maybe damage control at this point. That could be what's happening. Giuseppe De Rosa, Fear was interesting when Travis was there. Yeah, more interesting. I mean, there was still a lot of stuff that weren't interesting in the show, but Travis was one of the rare things that was interesting about Fear back in the day, during season 1 to 3. John is a good character. Yes, absolutely. Giuseppe De Rosa, but he should never be able to replace Rick. Or he would never be able to replace Rick. Who? Daryl? Or nobody could, you said. Yeah, nobody could. Nobody could. You're absolutely right about that. No one can replace Rick. Might take someone 6 seasons to do that, or 7 seasons, or 8 seasons. But I do think it's going to happen, but it's not going to be 1 season, 2 seasons. Obviously not 1 season or half a season, for sure. But even like 2 seasons, I don't think so. 3, I don't think so. I think it has to be 6, 7, 8 seasons. Which is the same amount of time it took Rick to develop and become the character he is now. Giuseppe De Rosa, The Rock as Rick, LOL. Well, if The Rock was Rick, then Negan would not stand a chance. Let's just say that. Giuseppe De Rosa, how about Jim Carrey as Rick? Now we're just getting to the joking section of the comments, or the portion of the Q&A. And you say just kidding. Yeah, I noticed that. We are 40 minutes in, so about 5 minutes. I think Giuseppe De Rosa has been carrying this live stream with his questions. A lot of questions from him, which is great. Giuseppe De Rosa, I've been trying, brother, trying. Yeah, I appreciate it. Giuseppe De Rosa, who's better, Carol or Maggie? Carol. Carol, probably. Maggie started becoming a better character and a stronger, more savage character after Glenn's death. So The same thing happened with Carol, actually. After Sophia's death, Carol became this strong character. So same thing goes for Maggie. So in maybe 2 seasons, maybe Maggie will be a bigger, better character than Carol ever was. Giuseppe De Rosa, Simon versus the Governor. Simon was twisted. Same with the Governor. But, so that's I mean, that's a good comparison. Simon and the Governor. Both twisted. Both absolutely messed up in the head. Who's better? Simon is more interesting in the show. The Governor is more messed up in the comics and a little bit more interesting in the comics than Simon in the show. But the Governor in the show is not interesting at all. He was toned down way too much, PG'd way too much, and it just didn't work for me. Giuseppe De Rosa, Shane versus Simon. Simon. But Shane comes very close. Giuseppe De Rosa, what's the saddest Walking Dead episode? Saddest Walking Dead episode would be 701. That's up there. Lori's death. And what else? Carl's death a little bit. Episode, what else? Yeah, these are pretty much it. And Herschel's death. These are not in order, but these are the saddest ones. Giuseppe De Rosa, what's the worst episode? Clear. Clear and the Beth-centric episode at the hospital. Those two. Giuseppe De Rosa, what's your favorite episode? No Sanctuary from the Termite storyline. No Way Out. And these are not in order. I would have to think about which one comes first, but just the top 3, not in order, would be 701. Or not 701, sorry. No Sanctuary, 501. No Way Out, 609, I think. What else? Top 3, I have one more, let me think. Let me think. Yeah, I can just think of these 2 right now. But there's tons more that I just can't think of right now. Giuseppe De Rosa, Clear was a great episode. I don't agree. I don't agree with that at all. Giuseppe De Rosa, Morgan versus the Governor. Morgan all the way. Morgan is badass. We are 45 minutes in. Alright, that would be the end of the stream. Thank you, Giuseppe De Rosa, for holding it down and basically carrying this live stream. I appreciate it. I hope to see you next week as well, and I hope to see more people next week here for the live stream. But yeah, that's basically it. Thank you again to Giuseppe De Rosa, and there was someone else earlier on, Animated Alex, for asking questions and basically keeping this live stream Q&A going. I really appreciate it. I will see all of you hopefully I will see you all next Friday night for the next live stream.